Hello and welcome to the start of the Year of the Mammoth and the launch of Journey to Ungoro. As well as the usual Tavern Brawl, we've also got a few packs to open, including the 3 free packs you get for logging in. The offer of 3 packs lasts until 1st of July, so don't panic if you've not done it yet, but don't leave it forever. Also, don't forget to grab the newest hero, Maeve Shadowsong, who can be acquired by playing 10 ranked or casual standard games during the Year of the Mammoth. For those who are not sure how the system works, there are basically 2 modes of play, Standard and Wild. Within Standard mode, only Basic, Classic and the last 2 years of cards can be played, so with the change from the Year of the Kraken to the Year of the Mammoth, we'll be losing Blackrock Mountain, the Grand Tournament and League of Explorers cards to Wild. We'll also be losing Azure Drake, Sylvanas Windrunner and Ragnaros the Firelord, as they're being changed from Classic to Wild only. We'll also be losing the class card Power Overwhelming, Ice Lance and Conceal. They're also going to Wild as they're being taken from the Classic set. Wild mode is where all the cards can be played in a no-holds-barred battle of who can ever make the most broken deck. So there we go, that's pretty much how it works. Also, when you log in for the first time, there's a little animation that pretty much gives you all that information, what I've just said, just in case you aren't aware of how it all works, which is kind of handy. And now, onto the Brawl. Yes, that's what you're here for, and this week's Brawl is the Masked Ball, where basically when a minion dies, it summons a random minion that costs 2 mana or less. This only applies to minions played from the hand that cost 2 mana or more, so basically if the minion doesn't have the Death Rattle Mystery Pilot on it, you won't get another minion from it, and that effectively is all summoned minions and other minions like that. What does work, however, though, is Baron Rivendare, who will give you 2 minions when something dies, which is pretty handy, because his ability, as it is Death Rattles are done twice. So not only will your Death Rattle minions go twice normally, but because of this Brawl, when something dies, the Mystery Pilot thing is a Death Rattle effect, so that will trigger twice, so you will get double the goodness. Also worth noting, other cards that summon minions when they die will be getting great value, so that's Shredders and Wobbling Runts, so if you combine that with Baron Rivendare, you're pretty much doubling up and doubling up again, so all the minions. But do be aware of board space, so try not to fill it up too much if that is the way that you want to go this week. Another way to go is with Silence. Silence works really well in this Brawl because it prevents the bonus minion from spawning in. This is the way I've gone because I haven't yet opened any Ungoro cards and I've been playing on my free-to-play accounts, so I don't have all the cards, but I do have a few Silence minions and they are pretty powerful, and a lot of players tend to give up once they realise that they're not getting their extra cards, so that is a good way to go if you are, say, new to the game or don't have many of the cards. With that in mind, if you don't have any of the new cards yet, don't worry too much about it, because like I said, I've managed to do the Brawls without them. With all that being said, let's get to the Brawl. Okay, keeping with the theme of Silence, I am going to do that with this one, because the way I want to play it is not only do I want to prevent them from getting the extra minion, I don't want to kill minions and give them the extra minion, because it's very easy to get board presence in this one, and if something dies and you've used a removal spell to get rid of it, then you're down a removal spell but they're up a minion, so effectively you've got to kill things twice. This is just to highlight just how powerful Death Rattle is, so this Brawl can be a bit of a pain in the ass to do, but persevere and you will get there, trust me. Also good if you're a new player is to play Priest and get things like Mind Vision, because not only are you getting a chance to grab something good from your opponent, you're getting something good from your opponent. That's pretty much all there is, so you're able to better up your deck by using this card. Normally Mind Vision's a bit doesn't really work because it might break whatever combo or theme you've got with your deck, but in this Brawl it works pretty well. Same with Thought Still, if you've got it. why things like Shadow Madness works really well, and stealing the minions, because not only are you grabbing it from them and killing it off, you're getting the resulting minion from it, which is awesome. Yeah, that's why I want to avoid things like fully Nova and board wipes, although it will kill off stuff that is like summoned, all the minions and things, but people aren't really playing those in this brawl. But obviously the resummoned minion that has come back from the die will be killed off with those. So I might grab Holy Nova anyway, just in case, just in case. Oh, I have a new card. What is my new card? I don't see it yet. Ah, there it is. Oh yes, the Volcanosaur, the free card for logging in. I'm not going to use it in this program. Right, what else shall I use? As you can see, this is my free-to-play account, so I don't have many cards. Let's grab all the silences. Let's grab the Mind Control deck. Kaval Courier could be good. Spawn of Nozoth is quite handy because when it dies, it will give 1/1/1 to whatever it spawns in. Same with the Tentacle of Nozoth. No, not Tentacle of Nozoth. Zealous Initiate, that's the one. So while he won't, actually no, scrap that, because Zealous Initiate is 1. So it's less than 2 mana, it won't actually do anything, it would just die off. Which is why it's probably a good idea not to go with 1-cost minions in this brawl. Because you're going to get no value from them. We'll however take Acidic Swamp Ooze. I'll go the Southern Route. If in doubt, bring him out. Put the Doomsayer in for funsies. So the other thing we're going to go for is when stuff dies, summoning things. Not feeling particularly confident with this deck, but I'm going to do what I can with what I've got.
Tyrande versus Thrall.
Alright, here we go.
Noon give me strength.
So I've got an opening start of Mind Vision and Beckoner of Evil, followed up by a Cabal Song Stealer of Silence. It's one of the more expensive silences I have, but it is still a silence, so I'll keep it. Because by that point he might be putting down his bigger minions. So something worse might be coming out. Oh, there we go, a cheaper silence. We like that.
Happy New Year.
Job's done.
Spirit Claws.
Happy New Year, friend.
Okay, we're playing against a Spell Shaman.
Are you my master?
Job's done.
Sadly, I don't have anything with spell damage. But it's a weapon. Kind of handy.
This way.
Oh,
For
okay.
Elune.
Job's done.
Where are my acidic swamp oozes when I need them? Well, the good news is that I now have a handful of silence minions, so I can pretty much stop anything that's coming out.
Your
magic shall not save you.
This way. For Elune.
That's incredible.
Yeah, let's do 1 damage to that. So even if he
Job's
comes
done.
back up again, it will die if he runs it into that. Oh, he's not going to be happy now.
Die, mage.
This way.
Clear the board down. Gonna keep the weapon there, just in case.
Your magic shall not save you.
Okay.
For Elune.
And there was the reason why I got the weapon. What have we got? That.
Die, mage.
Let's kill off his... No, let's leave the thing from below. Go for it.
This way.
And the reason for that is twofold. One, he's got to go into our dudes. Wow.
Brilliant.
That is an effective way to remove that death rattle. But also, if he makes anything more, I can steal it with the mind control tech.
May your feet never prime. I see gold in your future.
I confuse!
Again, not killing stuff off because there's potential to kill it with the mind control tech. Oh, steal it with the mind control tech, not kill it. What am I talking about? Mental. There we go.
I confuse!
What are we going to get?
Engaging TC-130 into dislocator.
Okay.
Do you hear its call? Ah!
What does that one do? Can't attack, inspire, can attack as normal. Alright. But we're going to kill off the healing. That one is the biggest threat.
Listen closely.
Blaze cooler would have been nice. This is fun. This is a bit crazy. Oh, you know when I said earlier about whether or not I should take Holy Nova? Glad I did.
What is Elune's will?
No problem.
Now, next turn, I can either mind control something that comes down, or I can Siphon, depending on what he plays. Okay, well, that's a 7 hex gone. Okay, Siphon it is then.
My dream ends. Your nightmare begins.
And if they kill Siphon, it will come back as something costing 8, which is kind of handy. Also, with both of his hexes, I'm kind of screwed.
Well played.
That was a very fun match. I was going to say, I wonder if I'm going to get Ragnaros. And I did. Amazing. That was an amazing game. So there you go. So not only could you play Priest and Silent stuff, but you could also play Shaman and Devolve. I didn't think of that at all. And evolve your own stuff, which is kind of handy to do with all the minions that have come back after you've killed off your initial minions, because if you evolve stuff that has got the death rattle, then you lose the death rattle. So it's a great way of recycling your crap that you get out of your dead minions. But all in all, there we go. One particular Tavern Brawl, very fun to play. I was very impressed with how my deck went. Went a lot better than I thought it would. And, I learned a valuable lesson of always take Holy Nova, just in case, even if you don't really want to use it. But there is our pack. Very much well earned there, I feel. And it is now time to open all the packs. Yes, because obviously we've been collecting the Ungoro packs over the last few weeks with various party shenanigans, and now that the expansion is here, we get to open them all. And obviously I've collected a few other Ungoro packs along the way. So let us go open the standard, the Ungoro, and a couple of Old God packs that got thrown in for free as well, and see what awesome things we get. Alrighty, here we go. I'm going to start with the classic pack that we got from our Tavern Brawl. Let's see what we get. Fantastic! A Cabal Shadow Priest. That would have been amazing in the last Tavern Brawl, but still pretty good card. Other cards, kind of alright. Haven't really seen Flesh Eating Ghoul or Demolisher used much recently. But I'm sure that there will be some sort of resurgence where they come back, maybe. But anyway, enough rambling. On to the Old God pack. Now remember, the Old God is still within the standard mode, so you can use Old God cards. A bit stupid for them to give you free cards that you couldn't use. Nothing great to start with. Pretty much stuff I've already got. Alright, now, onto the important cards. Ungoro. Nice little opening animation there. Alrighty, so we have a Razor Petal Lasher. Add a Razor Petal to your hand that deals 1 damage. Okay. Tar Creeper is taunt and has +2 attack during your opponent's turn. That's a really good card. At least I think it's a really good card. Whether or not it's going to be great when you play it is another matter. But on paper and in theory, it looks pretty good. Saber-toothed Stalker, a giant stealth creature with low health that can be taken out with AoE, but I'm sure that there's potential for that somewhere. A Giant Moth, a Stealth Poisonous. Now Poisonous is the new key card, which basically means that when it deals damage, kill, whatever, it's dealt damage to. So the Silent Assassin and Mexina from back in the day all have now got the Poisonous keyword, but that's pretty much what it does. And Cruel Dinomancer, Death Rattle, summon a random minion you discarded this game. There we go, discard Warlock, got something good. Sadly, I don't really have much discard on this particular account, but never know, eventually down the line I may do. Anyway, next. Okay, a Verdant Longneck, Battlecry Adapt. Adapt is the new keyword with this particular expansion. Gives you a whole bunch of different things. Go look it up because there's lots, but basically you get things like +1/+1 or Death Rattle, summon 2/1/1 things, or you can give it Poisonous, or you can give it +3 attack, or you can give it Wind Fury, or Stealth. Basically you can do something to that creature when it comes in and make it a little bit better than what it is. A Fire Plume Phoenix, Battlecry, deal 2 damage. Yet another minion that deals damage when it comes in. So eventually you could probably build a deck that just does damage as they get played. Whether or not it's viable, don't know. Fun? Possibly. A Ravenous Pterodax, Battlecry, destroy a friendly minion to adapt twice. Wow. Warlock? Wow. Destroy an imp, basically. Destroy a worthless imp to adapt twice for 4. That's pretty good. Steam Surger, Battlecry, if you played an elemental last turn, add a Flame Geyser to your hand. I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's pretty good. Elementals, they're the new tribe, like Beast and Murloc. Cards from previous that were elementals, like Ragnaros the Firelord, has now been given the elemental tag. So you can now use the synergies for older cards for the elemental effects and things that go on, because obviously Ungoro is not just for dinosaurs, there are the elements there as well. Speaking of elements, a Radiant Elemental, your spells cost 1 less for Priest, which is amazing, and a great combo for that is the Power Word Shield, which is you play the Radiant Elemental, the Power Word Shield costs 0, and then you can then buff it up straight away and get a card, which is kind of handy. Sadly, Steam Surger is for Mage and Radiant Elemental is for Priest, so you couldn't play those two together, but there are plenty of other elementals out there, like I just said. Anyway, on to the next pack. Next chapter, more opening. Aha! One of my swiftly becoming favourite cards, a Stubborn Gastropod, Taunt Poisonous. The reason it's becoming my favourite card is because this is great to steal from your opponent. Your opponent plays it, you kill it or steal it, they become sad. I'm not sure how viable it is when you play it, because it can be killed or stolen quite easily, but I like the idea of a poisonous taunt beast. Now, the important thing here is it is a beast, so you can do all sorts of beast shenanigans to it and make it much, much bigger than the 1/2 that it starts with. Volcano. Deal 15 damage, randomly split among all minions, overload 2. Shaman gets a giant board clear. This was discussed quite a lot in the upcoming Ungoro chats. It was one of the ones that was revealed early. Lots of people kind of pleased to see it, other people were less so pleased to see it. Personally, I'm a bit, 15 damage is a lot of damage. It's great if you want to clear their side of the board and potentially kill off the opponent if they're on low health, but if you are ahead with board presence and you play this, then you could set yourself back. So it's a very much a if and when card. Emerald Reaver, Battlecry, deal 1 damage to each hero for 1. That's probably going to be seen in a lot of Face Hunter decks. Play it for 1, get that first damage in off the bat, does 2 damage next turn, could be good. A Pterodax Hatchling, Battlecry Adapt. It's a cute baby adapt to go with your cute baby Murlocs, so you can make a cute baby deck and also feel really bad when you kill it. Overall, could be good for a cheap minion. Again, beast, so it could become bigger and you could do better things with it. Back to Tar, another taunt. Seems like the Tar theme is taunt. Again, it's an elemental, it's an expensive elemental, and it's a +4 attack during your opponent's turn, warrior. So the one before was a neutral, so everyone can give it a go, and this one is warrior only, so on your opponent's turn it becomes 5/11. I think the previous one could see play, this one not so sure, because it's quite expensive for what it is, but you never know. Moving on. There we go, we were just talking about it. Tar Creeper, there he is. And I've got another one of him. Rockpool Hunter, Battlecry, give a friendly Murloc +1/+1. Ah, the Murlocs are still there. They're still doing their Murloc-y things. So, another one for the Murloc tribal pool. Okay, Warrior is gain 5 armor for 1, so it costs 2 less than the gain 5 armor, draw a card. So you're not getting the draw a card effect, but you are getting the armor. Okay. Corrupting Mist, corrupt every minion, destroy them at the start of your next turn. Wow. That's kind of like a very delayed board clear. Corrupt doesn't see play very much unless you really want to get rid of a very big minion. Whether or not Corrupting Mist is going to see any play, we'll see. Personally, it's kind of like, oh no, I'm going to die next turn if I don't get rid of all these minions. What have I got? Corrupting Mist. Oh, yeah. Ignis Elemental. Death Rattle. Add 1/2 elementals to your hand. Okay. So if you want to play all the elementals, he's a good one to go for. Especially if you want to activate the elemental quest or the elemental mage that you had earlier. He's a good one to have. Come on, epics and legendaries. Oh, should have said that earlier. Nesting Rock, Battle Cry. If you control at least 2 other minions, gain Taunt. Alright. More beast synergy. All the beasts. Yay. Living Mana. I really like the concept of this card. Transform your mana crystals into 2/2 minions. Recover the mana when they die. So for 5, effectively you can play that turn 5 and get 5 2/2 minions. Deal 10 damage. At 10, double that. And then you can do other shenanigans to them. Actually thinking about it, so you use all your mana to make the minions, and then your opponent just goes, cool, I won't kill them, and thus you are then mana screwed. Yeah. So there is a double edge to it. We'll see. Primal Fin Lookout. Battle Cry. If you control another Murloc, discover a Murloc. Awesome. Again, the discover mechanic, if you can't remember, is only the cards that are class specific or neutral you can discover. So if you are playing a priest, for example, you wouldn't find any paladin Murlocs. Rather if you get old Murkai from that. Anyway, another Steam Surger and a Firefly. Add a 1/2 elemental to your hand. Okay, so more elemental synergy. Next. Ooh, I just thought, if you make the mana things as a shaman, you could transmute them to something else. So thus you would never get your mana back. And you would cry a lot. I might have to try that. Anyway, Grievous Bite. Deal 2 damage to a minion and 1 damage to adjacent ones. Okay, so basically it's a smaller power shot or explosive shot. It's kind of handy. Flame Geyser, deal 2 damage, add 1/2 elemental to your hand. Well, there you go, there's the mage elemental synergy. So you can blow something up and get the elemental and do your elemental synergies. Tortolan Shellraiser. Taunt, Death Rattle, give a random friendly minion +1/+1. A 2/6 priest card. Cool. Tidal Surge, deal 4 damage to a minion, restore 4 health to your hero. Nice. Tolvir Stone Shaper, Battle Cry. If you played an elemental last turn, gain Taunt and Divine Shield. A neutral card. That might get played quite a bit. Kind of handy. For 4, it's pretty good. Come on, legendary. No, Hydrologist, Battlecry, discover a secret. Volatile Elemental, Death Rattle, deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion. Hallucination, discover a card from your opponent's class as Rogue. More stealing cards from your opponent as Rogue. Good stuff. Battlecry, adapt to friendly beast. And Evolving Spores, adapt to your minions. That's pretty cool. There's our Turlin Shellraiser, Stonehill Defender, Taunt Battlecry, discover a Taunt minion. So, like the Warrior Discovery Taunt minion, you can now do it for all the classes, or just make Taunt Warrior even more taunty. Another Primal Fin Lookout, Razor Petal Volley, and Giant Mastodon. Taunt 610. And draw basic Taunt. Nothing special there, but it's a beast, so beast synergy and all that. Ooh, another epic. Primordial Glyph. Discover a spell, reduce its cost by 2. That's pretty awesome. Crystalline Oracle, Death Rattle. Copy a card from your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. So Priest and Rogue are vying it out for who can steal the most cards from your opponent. Another Sabertooth Stalker, and another Fireplume Phoenix. And our last pack for this account. Give me something good. No. Stegodon is another neutral taunt. Raptor Hatchling, Death Rattle, shuffle a 4/3 Raptor into your deck. Useful for the Raptor quest for Hunter. Another gain 5 armor for Warrior. Another Primal Fin Lookout. And a Glacial Shard, Battlecry, freeze an enemy. Basically, it's a mini version of the 5/5 elemental that freezes an enemy. So you can do it cheaper, earlier. And it's freeze. So, yay, freeze mage. There we go. On to the next account. Here we go again with some more pack openings. Starting with Tavern Brawl pack. Ooh, shinies. Old God pack. Ooh, shinies. Our main streets of Gadgets and deck. No shinies. And our Ungoro packs. Okay, do we have anything new? A Shimmering Tempest, Death Rattle, add a random mage spell to your hand. Handy, so you can spellbook turn 1, then Shimmering Tempest turn 2 for all the spells. Another Igneous Elemental, another Razor Petal Lasher. I guess Razor Petal Lasher will be great with, say, Malagos, because it's quite a cheap spell. I don't know how much the Razor Petal would cost, but you put out the Razor Petal Lasher as a 2/2 for 2, which is a pretty all-round minion, pretty good, and then you keep the spells, and you can either just ping something off as a combo starter, or eventually when you get Malagos you can do big damage with him. What else we got? Light Fused Stegodon, Battlecry, adapt your Silverhand recruits. Wow, so make all the recruits and then do good stuff to them. Razor Petal Volley, add 2 Razor Petals to your hand that deal 1 damage. So, more Razor Petals. Stonehill Defender, Taunt, we've already done him. Verdant Longneck, we've seen him. Giant Wasp, we've seen him. An Ultra Saw, 10 cost, 7/14. Beast, giant, huge, expensive thing that doesn't do anything. But then I guess you could adapt and Beast synergy and... Envenom Weapon, give your weapon poisonous. That's pretty cool. Air Elemental, can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. A good turn 1 there, and then you can Wind Fury it with your Wind Fury minion, because obviously can't be targeted by spells or hero powers, but it can be targeted by other minions. Don't forget that. And obviously it dies to anger and other good things like that. Anyway, a Molten Blade, haha, this is a very cool weapon. Each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a new weapon. So like Shifter Xerus, this will stay in your hand, and then at the start of your turn it will become a different weapon. So you can either play that weapon that turn, or keep it and hope for something better. Adaptation, Paladin card, adapt a friendly minion. Very straightforward. Arcanologist, Battlecry, draw a secret from your deck. So, like the mad scientist of old from Naxxramas, when he died, it would pull a secret from your deck. This is the other way round, and less broken, that when you play it, it draws a secret from your deck, and then you can then play that either that turn or a turn later, but still pretty good. Especially if you're freeze mage and you're trying to pull that last ice block. Lost in the Jungle. Summon 2/1/1 Silverhand recruits. Very straightforward. Make some minions and then buff the minions. Paladin doing what Paladin does best. And another Fire Plume Phoenix. Alright, another Arcanologist. An Egg Napper. Death Rattle. Summon 2/1/1 Raptors. Kill. Emerald Reaver, Obsidian Shard. Costs 1 less for each card you've played from another class. So it's a 3/3 weapon that gets cheaper. Okay, sure. Another Volcano, another Fireplume Phoenix, another Stegodon, another Pterodax Hatchling, and another Tortolin Shellraiser. Ah, give me something new, give me a legendary, give me something good. Ooh, a shiny Thunder Lizard. Battlecry, if you played an elemental last turn, adapt. Thunder Lizard sounds better than it actually is. I thought it was going to do lightning or some sort of crazy ability, but no, it's just an adapt. A Raversaur Runt. Battlecry, if you control at least 2 other minions, adapt. By turn 2, oh, easy. Wisps. All the wisps. Another Razor Petal Lasher, but this time in gold. A Hydrologist and a Shell Shifter. Choose one. Transform into a 5/3 with stealth, or a 3/5 with taunt. Ah, the chooses are back. It's kind of cool. And obviously if you have Fandral Staghelm, then you can get to do both, which is kind of cool. A stealth taunt. Yeah, that doesn't work. Ooh, an epic! A Tortolin Primalist. We like our turtles. Battlecry, discover a spell and cast it with random targets. Huh. It's neutral. So that could be kind of crazy or kind of rubbish. Interesting. It's a shame it's so expensive. I'd actually like to try and play that. What else we got? Oh, we got some other new shiny cards. An Earthen Scales. Give a friendly minion +1/+1, then gain armor equal to its attack. For Druid, surprisingly, not Warrior. Shimmering Tempest. Death Rattle. Add a random mage spell to... Oh, we've seen him. And Hot Spring Guardian. Taunt, Battlecry, restore 3 health. So our Healing Shaman could be back. We'll see. And of course a Giant Mastodon, which we've seen. Tar Creeper, a Mimic Pod. Draw a card, then add a copy of it to your hand. Really good card. Binding Heal. Restore 5 health to a minion and your hero. That's kind of cool. Those times when you're torn between healing a minion to survive it or healing yourself so you can stay alive. That's all over now, where you can cast this, which is pretty cool. And Giant Mastodon and Razor Petal Volley we've seen. They seem to be the most common cards of the common cards. And our last Ongoro pack for this particular account. Haven't seen the legendary yet. Could this be the pack? No. But we do have a Jeweled Macaw, which is a Battlecry. Add a random beast to your hand, potentially getting something good. But like what we've seen, there are lots and lots of beasts. Some not so good, some very expensive. So you can play that and then get a turn 10 beast. Why? Who knows? But there we go, we're done with that one. On to the last account. So, to start with, we're going to go with our Tavern Brawl pack. Nothing great there. Some Old Gods packs. Epic! Call of the Wild. Very nice. Not really seen much these days, but still pretty cool. Alright. Now, onto the huge amount of Ungoro packs. This is my main account, so I have a few more packs here to open. Now I'll try and do it as quickly as possible. We've seen all of those except for Mana Bind. Secret: when your opponent casts a spell, add a copy to your hand that costs 0. Cool. Now you can steal cards from your opponent as a mage as well. Fantastic. Although you would kind of have to hope that it's a good spell. And opponents will now have another thing to worry about when a secret goes up from mage, which is pretty cool. Because that's what you want secrets to be. Because secrets have become more a case of, oh, you've played a secret, I know exactly which one that is, and I know how to play around it. But as more and more secrets come out, that is less and less something you are able to do. And especially if you do a secret from a discover, then you are even less likely to pick what it is as an opponent, because it doesn't fit in with the synergy of the way the deck is running, which is how secrets should be, which is good. Anyway, moving on. 99 We've seen all of those. And all of those. No, this one's new. Frozen Crusher. After this minion attacks, freeze it. Okay, sure. So it's an elemental that attacks every 2 turns. Well, considering it's a 6-cost 8/8 elemental, so yay. You could do things like silence it, I guess, or not play it, or that's pretty much the options, really. Unless someone can do something really clever with it. Anyway, moving on. We've seen all of those. And all of those. Well, I now have a second Frozen Crusher because that's what I really wanted. Oh, he's new. Stormwatcher, a Wind Fury 4/8 elemental neutral. Well, every expansion has its shit Wind Fury, and this expansion is this one. Yay! But it's an elemental, so I guess you could probably do something with the elemental synergy that costs 7. Direhorn Hatchling. Taunt, Death Rattle. Shuffle a 6/9 Direhorn with Taunt into your deck. Cool. It's a beast for a warrior, because, you know, beasts everywhere. Taunt is real for the warrior. Way! A golden giant mastodon, because why not? And the epic is Explore Ungoro. Replace your deck with copies of a Discover a card. That's mental. So basically, the Warlock got Renounced Darkness in the Whisper of the Old Gods expansion, which effectively changed all their Warlock cards into cards from another class, and it either worked amazingly well or amazingly terribly, depending on if luck was on your side or not. So this is probably the Warriors one, with a little bit more control to it. So I'm not sure if it's just the Warrior cards that get replaced, but it says replace your deck, so I'm guessing everything in your deck then becomes copies of Discover a card, which is kind of mental, because then you would then play that, pick something, and it would be neutral cards and warrior cards. Yeah, that could work, but you'd have a very slow turn. It's worth giving it a go. See what happens. Could be interesting. I think it's very gimmicky though. But anyway, moving on. Molten Reflection. Choose a friendly minion, summon a copy of it. Okay, cool. As mage, interesting. That would be better as a rogue card, but I think if there was a rogue card, it might be a little bit broken, especially with the Caverns Below quest. Ornery Direhorn, or if you read that too quickly, Horny Direhorn. Taunt, Battlecry, Adapt. 6, 5, 5, Adapt, Taunty, Taunt, 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 Taunty, Taunt, Taunt. More taunt for the warrior that they can possibly ever want or hope for. Everything else we've pretty much seen. Oh yay, another Frozen Crusher. Dust. Elder Longneck. Battlecry, if you're holding a minion with 5 or more attack, adapt. That's handy, especially if it's the fact that you're holding a minion with 5 or more attack, so you don't actually have to play it. So you can hold something really big and expensive and not have to worry about playing it, but you could play this for 3 and do something really cool with it, like stealth it, or make it untargetable so you can actually make it survive a turn, being that it only has 1 health. But I guess you could buff up its health somehow, especially as a druid. Anything else new? A humongous Razor Leaf. It can't attack, and it's a 4/8 for 3. Yay! Haven't seen one of these for a while, not since Ancient Watcher, a classic neutral card that costs 2 and is a 4/5. And this costs 3 and is a 4/8. So usual shenanigans apply. Play it and then taunt it up, or silence it and go face and do other crazy stuff. So nice to see that mechanic back. Ooh, nice. A Golden Devilsaur egg. Death Rattle, summon a 5/5 Devilsaur. Again, the Nerubian egg from Naxxramas, which was a 0/2, I believe, that summoned a 4/4. So a similar sort of thing here. Basically, it looks really weak and intimidating. Kill it and something bad comes out and eats your face. What else we got? Servant of Kalamos. Battlecry, if you played an elemental last turn, discover elemental. Excellent. I.e. 5/4/5 Battlecry. Hope you get one of the cool legendary elementals. Everything else we've seen. Another epic. Biteweed. Combo, gain +1/+1 for each other card you've played this turn. So it's an Edward Van Cleef in plant form. That's very cool. It's epic, not legendary. Poor Van Cleef. Free from Amber. Discover a minion that costs 8 or more and summon it. Well, it is an 8-cost spell, so that's kind of cool. I'm guessing that's probably why Ragnaros went away into Wild. Could be good. Another epic. Primordial Drake. It's a dragon. Ah, the dragons are back. Taunt, Battlecry, deal 2 damage to all other minions. Nice. And we have a Golden Fireplume Harbinger. Battlecry, reduce the cost of elementals in your hand by 1. Excellent. Put 2 of those into play, and you're laughing. It's also... oh, it's only a shaman, so you couldn't use it for any other class. Oh well. Everything else we've seen. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Seen all them. What do we got here? A Lakari Fellhound. Taunt, Battlecry, discard 2 random cards. Yay, discard Warlock gets more discard abilities. And a Spite-Ridged Steed. Give a minion +2/+6 and Taunt. When it dies, summon a Stegodon. That's actually a pretty good buff. Costs 6. Similar to that would be the Priest's Power Word Tentacle. Or Power Word Testicle, if you're reading it too quickly. Give a minion +2/+6. That costs 5. So strictly a better card. And for Paladin, where buffs rule, that's a pretty good card. But obviously it does cost 6. And you do need a minion for it. I've seen all of them. Sated Threshodon. It's Death Rattle, summon 3 1/1 Murlocs. Really? Okay. Cool. Another epic! Spirit Echo. Give your minions Death Rattle, return this to your hand. Death Rattle Shaman was a thing. I like the when it dies, resummon it. This could work with stuff with Battle Cry. So you kill it, then it goes back to your hand, and then you get to play it all over again. Shaman does have a few pretty good Battle Cry minions. There are, however, better classes with better battle cries, but there's lots of neutrals that have good battle cries, so it could see play, and it only costs 3, so that's kind of cool. It's cheap enough for you to flood the board with a bunch of crap and then play it to protect your stuff. Whereas we got Tortolan Forager, battle cry, add a random minion with 5 or more attack to your hand. Seems like this would synergize with the other card that required a minion with 5 or more attack in your hand. I see what they did there. Everything else we've seen. Still no legendaries. No quests either. It's a bit of a shame. Tolvir Warden, battle cry, draw 2 1-cost minions from your deck. As a hunter, that's pretty good. Also, it's strictly better than the camel because the camel will pull a 1-cost minion for your opponent as well. This time it just allows you to draw for you, but it does go to your hand rather than the battlefield. So, you know, toss up. And it does cost 5. So by that point, as a hunter, you should be already won. So Horny Direhorn. And everything else we've seen. Oh no, we haven't. This is Cornered Sentry. Taunt battle cry. Summon 3 1/1 raptors for your opponent. So it's kind of like a Leroy Jenkins, but in taunt form. Okay. Well, I guess because, you know, it has such high health and is a cheap taunt, that's why you want to give your opponent 3 1/1 raptors. Although if you're going up against a paladin, I'm sure they'll be very grateful for some little minions to buff up and crush you. Do like the art though. More volcanoes, more hallucinations, more elementals, more beasts, more. Vicious Fledgling, back to the cutesy-ish animals. After this minion attacks a hero, adapt. Kill. So you kind of want to make it charge as a hunter, then you can swing in with it and adapt it all in the same turn to prevent it from being destroyed immediately. Taunt, battle cry, oh we've seen him. Gokla Crawler, battle cry, destroy patches and gain +1/+1. Sorry, destroy a pirate, but that's pretty much destroy patches. Battle cry, if you played an elemental last turn of that, oh we've seen him. Thunder Lizard. Another Golden Mastodon, because, you know, that's what you want. A Gluttonous Ooze. More ooze, more weapon destruction. This one's a really good one. Destroy your opponent's weapon and gain armor equal to its attack. And there's our Volcanosaur, to go with our golden volcano sword that we got previously, as long as you remember to log in during the build up to Ungoro. So yes, good cards. Tar Lurker, another taunty tar, has +3 attack during your opponent's turn. Okay, so, but this time for Warlock. So we're all going to get one, are we? One for every class? Maybe? Who knows? Everything else we've seen. Ooh, here's a new one. Primal Fin Totem. At the end of your turn, summon a 1/1 Murloc. Huzzah for Murlocs. Also, that's a pretty freaky totem. Excellent. Whee! That's the pack. Awesome. So, all the shinies. Yeah. Wow. Well. What do we have here? So we have a Golden Air Elemental, a Vine Cleaver. After your hero attacks, summon 2 1/1 Silverhand Recruits. That's an expensive weapon for lots of Silverhand Recruits, but I'm sure we can make it work. A Sudden Genesis. 5 for Warrior. Summon copies of your damaged minions. So previously, where you had Blood Warriors, which was add a copy of each damaged friendly minion to your hand, this is the upgraded version. Blood Warriors cost 3, this costs 5. So you basically have damaged minions, then you play this, and then you have more minions. And I'm guessing they're probably going to be damaged as well, because they're going to be direct copies. So a way to effectively double the minions on your board, which is pretty good, as long as they're not too badly damaged and they're all going to die next turn to AoE or something, which would be bad. Tarlord we've seen, but the legendary Fire Plume's Heart. Now this is a very cool quest. Now the way quests work is it will always be in your opening hand when you start, and it costs 1, so it's pretty much the first thing you play. And then a little exclamation mark will appear over your hero as opposed to the question mark for secrets. And your opponent can also see how far through the quest you've got. The quest is on the left, the reward is on the right, and there's a little arrow in the middle showing the progress you've made towards the quest. Now the particular warrior quest, as this one is you play 7 taunt minions. Now as you've seen from all the packs we've opened, we have plenty of taunt minions to pick from. Once you've played your 7 taunt minions, the reward is Sulfurus, which is Ragnaros's weapon. It's a 3-cost weapon that's battle cry is your hero power becomes deal 8 damage to a random enemy. So it's effectively the Ragnaros ability on a weapon, which is very, very cool. The weapon itself has 4 attack and 2 durability, so if you really wanted to, you could swing with it. But it's a weapon, so you've got to watch out for all the oozes and the Harris and Joses to destroy your weapon and make you cry. But if you play Mojidomo Executus, you could effectively become Ragnaros with the Ragnaros weapon and be Ragnaros, which is very cool. But obviously bear in mind you only have 8 health, so you could be Ragnaros, but very briefly. Overall, the quest is reasonably easy to complete, very fun to try and do, and it is a pretty cool reward as it is a pretty cool weapon. There we go. Should we move on? Another Molten Blade, a Terror Scale Stalker, Battle Cry, trigger a friendly minion's death rattle. So like Princess Hunrahan, you effectively have that on this particular minion. Princess Hunrahan was a 5 cost 6/5. This is a 3 cost 3/3. And not a legendary. Poor Princess Hunrahan, because effectively you just want to play it for the ability. But I guess you get a bigger minion with Princess Hunrahan. Yeah, power creep is real, people. See all that? More legendaries, please. Ooh, another epic. Another Explore Ungoro. Fantastic. Ooh, a new one. Blood Bloom. The next spell you cast this turn costs health instead of mana. Excellent. That could be pretty useful. Crackling Razormaw. Battle Cry, adapt a friendly beast. Pretty much seen everything else. Another epic. Giant Anaconda. Death Rattle. Summon a minion from your hand with 5 or more attack. Wow, that would be pretty cool if it wasn't so expensive. But as Druid, I guess you could ramp up pretty quickly, drop that down, and threaten something even bigger and more deadly from your hand. Pretty cool concept, actually. Another epic. We like our epics. It's a Gluttonous Ooze. Fantastic. So Cornered Sentry slightly better now because I've got the Warrior quest. Turn 1, play the quest. Turn 2, play her. Ooh, nice. New one. Mirage Cooler. Battle Cry. Choose a friendly minion. Summon a 1/1 copy of it. Again, this is probably why Ragnaros went away into Wild. And also Sylvanas. Because otherwise this would be pretty much a broken card. But there are still plenty of minions that you probably want to summon a 1/1 version of. They probably got this idea from Tavern Brawl where everything was 1/1s. And they decided, let's do that. There's also a rogue version, which is Shadowcaster. That costs 5 and is a 4/4. Effectively the same sort of thing. Battle Cry. Choose a friendly minion. Add a 1/1 copy to your hand that costs 1. But this particular one is 3. It's a 2/3. And it actually summons it onto the battlefield for you. So again, could be better, could be worse, depending on the situation. But it's nice to see that they are expanding the various things that they're trying to other classes. So not every class is forced to do it. So you have to say, I want to try this particular mechanic, I must have to play this particular class. You can also now expand to the other classes. However, there's also the counter argument which says, oh no, no longer are the classes shiny petals of uniqueness. Now they are just becoming jack of all trades. Choose your side of the argument. Seen all them? Another epic. We like our epics. It's another Van Cleef. Cool. So we're now halfway through our Ungoro packs. We've had one legendary, many epics, pretty much all the commons now. I think I'm not seeing any new commons. Same with the rares. Not really seeing much in the way of new rares. I am seeing though that power creep is real. There's a lot of cards here that are either strictly better than more older, more rarer cards. So the rarity has sort of decreased, but the power and the strength of the card has increased. Either that, or the card is kind of like an either or version. So you either use this one or you use that one, depending, it might be a different class or a different way to play the ability, but the ability is kind of there. So I'm not sure whether or not they're just doing that because older players may not have access to the older cards, or if it's just a natural progression over time, or if they just ran out of ideas, were like, hey, that one was pretty cool from before, let's do that one again. But we'll see. Anyway, moving on to the next 50. Hopefully we'll get another legendary. Ooh, is that new? No, none of those are new. Wow, the double epic pack. Blaze Cooler. Battle Cry, if you played an elemental last turn, deal 5 damage. All classes, 6/6 for 7. Elemental. That's pretty cool. Chittering Tunneler. Battle Cry, discover a spell. Deal damage to your hero equal to its cost. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's obviously similar to all the other mechanics of discovering spells, predominantly in Mage, that was allowed you to do that. So now you can do it as Warlock. But the downside is that you take the damage, because obviously Warlocks love damage, especially to themselves. Yeah, pretty cool. Face. Come on, give me some good. Oh, another epic. Another giant anaconda. Fantastic. Huzzah! That's what we want to see. Not only is it a legendary, but it is a golden one. We get to unite the Murlocs. So we now have the warrior quest. This is the shaman quest. Summon 10 Murlocs. So the summon key word here. So you're going to be able to use the new totem that summons in the Murlocs to allow you to get in there quicker. And then you get Mega Fin. Mega Fin is a 5-cost 8/8 with Battle Cry. Fill your hand with random Murlocs. Again, it'd be nice to see if you can get old Murkai from that, but a handful of Murlocs, while they are random, so you might get a lot of crap ones, does potentially give you a chance to get some really good ones, because there are a few good Murlocs out there. It's a 5-cost 8/8, doesn't really have anything else going to it other than the Murloc summoning, so potentially it could just get killed off straight away. But if you like Murlocs as a shaman, go nuts. And obviously as shaman you'll get the Every Fin is Awesome spell, which is a 7-cost, give your minions +2/+2, but it does cost 1 less for each Murloc you control. So if your Mega Fin stays out a turn and you have a whole bunch of Murlocs in your hand, then potentially you could cast that for free and crush your opponent mercilessly. Competitive? Probably not very. Fun? Most definitely. Right then, on to the rest. Hey, another legendary! That's pretty good going. And it's another quest. This time it's the Mage quest, so that now allows me to have the Warrior, the Shaman, and the Mage quests to play with, which is pretty good going. Anyway, the quest is cast 6 spells that didn't start in your deck, and the reward, Time Warp. Having 6 spells that you didn't start with is pretty easy if you have things like Spellbook and other minions and spells that allow you to discover spells, so it is pretty easy to complete this quest. The reward is Time Warp, and like all good Magic players know who play blue, this one allows you to take another turn, which can be amazingly broken, and there must be ways to basically have infinite turns now. This is a 5-cost spell. All rewards cost 5, with the exception of the Warrior Weapon, because it costs 3, but with the Hero Power costing 2, that brings it to 5. Yeah, cast spells, go nuts. Could be great to try and break it in as many interesting ways as possible. Another epic, a Vile Spine Slayer, combo, destroy a minion. Cool. That's pretty good. Considering Assassinate costs 5 as a rogue, which is destroy a minion, this is a 5-cost minion, and it's pretty easy to combo, so rather than just casting a straight up spell, and while you kill something off that potentially is quite powerful, you don't really progress your board anymore. This obviously allows you to get around that, which is nice. Well, that's new. Feeding Time. Deal 3 damage to a minion. Summon 3 1/1 Pterodaxes as Warlock. So it's kind of like Imps, but the Ungoro version. Oh, another epic. A Gentle Megasaur, but Battle Cry, adapt your Murlocs. Well, if you're going with the Shaman Murloc quest, this is a good card to have in that deck, as it gives your Murlocs a little bit more survivability. Also, because it costs 4 and Mega Fin costs 5, you could then play this after playing him and, I don't know, make him have stealth or untargetability, just so you can swing him with that 8 damage the next turn. Everything else we've seen before. Another legendary, please. That's fun. Let's see if we can go with all the quests. Another epic. Thanks very much. Another Blaze Cooler. Nice. Another epic. This one is Dinomancy. Your hero power becomes give a beast +2/+2. Wow. That's kind of cool. So you can go from a straight up face hunter to sort of a beast hunter. So you can really embrace the beast hunter vibe and keep something alive out there, maybe. Obviously, if you wipe the board and the opponent prevents you from making more minions or beasts, then that's kind of a dead hero power. But potential for something good there. And a golden mirage cooler because, you know, the animation looks pretty cool. Looks like Batman. Effectively, that's the Batman card. That's very cool. Come on. Oh goodness. Another epic, another chittering tunneler. Good stuff. Hey, another fantastic pack. So what do we got this time? Epic is Primordial Glyph, which is really good. Also, it will work really well with the Mage Quest. And a Golden Legendary, Clutch Mother Zavas. Whenever you discard this, give it +2/+2 and return it to your hand. Fantastic. That's a really good card to have as Discard Warlock. Obviously the Discard Warlock has the card which allows you to get cards back that you've discarded, but this one can keep bouncing back and forth into your hand, and the buffs don't go away. So you discard it, it gets +2/+2, goes back into your hand, becomes a 4/4. Then it gets discarded again, and it becomes a 6/6. And then again, and 8/8, and so on and so on. So it's one of those ones where it's kind of like, what point do you play it and become like, and go face, or get it killed immediately and then cry. But it also allows you to power up all your other discard spells. So it's one of those ones where it's just kind of like you just use it as a discard tool, or you could try and make it a really big minion and hope that you can crush face with it or kill off something. Pretty good card. I like it. Another epic! Dino Size. Set a minion's attack and health to 10. Costs 8. Well, I did say earlier that paladins liked their buffs, so why not go for a big buff? A Dino Size buff, as it were. Oh, it costs 8. It's pretty much a finisher, so you can maybe make a lowly 1/1 silver hand paladin, and the opponent goes, ha, that's not going to be a problem, and then they cast it to a 11/11 and maybe win or something. So that's cool, but it is pretty expensive for what it is, so you kind of have to hope that you can play it on something good. But like most players know, paladins do like their buffs, so it is important to try and keep a paladin's board empty as much as possible. So it could become a dead card, but we'll just have to see. 4 packs left. And our last and final pack. What are we going to get? Is there going to be anything good? Fingers crossed. Give it the lucky shake. Well, we got Batman, so that's pretty cool. So there we are. All packs are now opened. Tavern Brawl has been beasted for another week. Next week, I believe, is the Heroic Wild, which means that you pay 1,000 gold if you have any gold left over from buying packs, and you put together a wild deck, and you go nuts up an arena ladder and try and get dust, fame, fortune, and legendaries. Once again, I probably won't be doing it because I'm not very good, and also I don't have any money left, but go nuts on that. I hope you enjoyed this week. It was a pretty long episode, so apologies for that, but I hope you enjoyed me opening cards, and let us know if you've picked up the expansion, what cards you've got from your packs, or any feedback that you want to leave in the comments below. Don't forget to tell your friends and family about us, and until next time, game over yeah.
Game over. Yeah.